G'day everyone, welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat, this will be my Knackers Yard. Big space, because Blue's over there and the phaser is here. Now I have neglected you and I do apologise. By neglected I mean that I didn't film putting the carb back in. Probably just as well because it's fucking awkward with an airbox still on. So the carb is in, the airbox is clipped, I want to say, rather than mounted. Trying to get this carb back in with whatever this setup is a real pain because the throttle cables are, I'm not saying they're short, it just makes it really difficult. You're trying to attach the throttle onto the carb in place and it's a fucking nightmare, particularly when your cables are bent, because that's the position they hold them in. So what, I just whip the throttle off and move it around, it's fine. I can it doesn't quite stretch to get it straight back on, but it's an easy enough job just to whip the bars off. And in fact I took the Renthal bar off with the intention of doing that in the relatively near future, but I still haven't got a battery for it. I'll sort that out at some point. In fact, let's do you from that side because I've got the frame the other side, so I'm a little bit out of space. It's probably just as well I didn't film it because I was there thinking it's not starting, what have I done, I realised I hadn't plugged the fucking coils in. Idiot boy. That exhaust is like a fucking trumpet. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to let you see here, but we're pretty much back to all four. So if I go 1, Scorchio, 2, Scorchio, 3, Scorchio, 4, proper Scorchio. 3 is still cool, but it is warm. It's not warming up as fast, but as I said before, I have just given the carb a once over. It's not a thorough clean, but that jet is clear, and it sounds so much better now as well. What I want to do is select gears and things. So let's try some of that shit, shall we? Not the safest of practice doing it on a hill, on a ramp. I just want to see if I can at least select the gear. Then I want to try and sort out that tank. So I have zeroed all of the air fuel screws as well. They're way off, they need balancing, but I just want it running. Yeah, I mean 1 and 4 are hotter than 2 and 3, but that's tuning. I'm sure that's tuning, and I haven't done any. It is literally thrown back on. Now I know that I'm going to be moving on to other things. Right, let's have a look at this vinegar tank. Let me get some paper. Try and keep some of the vinegar off of my floor. show you what I'm thinking. How on earth could leaning a tank against a serrated edge be a bad idea? Yeah. Let me just have a proper close look. So if you come down here and have a look, in fact it's probably easier to bring the tank to you. Now it's either coming from there, which it looks like it may be, or here, which it looks like it may be. So either at the top there or at the bottom there. So I think what I'm going to do is with a dry bit of cloth and drop it down. Have a look, see. Just leave it to settle for a little while at a suitable angle. Make sure it's dry before I start. Put it down on the dry bit and see what bit gets wet. Not the most scientific way of doing it, but it should work. And I'll drop you back in. Right, a few minutes later, and having grabbed you off my big stand and put you on my little one, the simple answer to is it leaking from one side or the other is both. It looks like from the tap as well. See the drips from the tap there. There we go. Okay, so with the tank inverted, I've dug away at some of the previous repairs here, and I can see 1, 2, 3 pinholes. There may be more under that, and 1 pinhole there. So simply enough to botch, and I'll botch something over that again, only temporary while I try and see if this thing runs. The tap itself, it's wet around the base, so I think it's the gasket seal under there that may have gone. So I'm going to see if I can undo them, see if I can find something to temporarily take the place. Those 2 bolts were barely in at all, but you can see where the sediment is. That gasket is very flat. I do wonder if I can find anything with a bit more relief in it than that, so I can see. There's my pointer gone. There we go. So you can see it doesn't look too bad here, not too bad here. It's very flat there, and it's also where all the kecks floated. So let's see what I've got. Right, so from another tap, I can't remember what I bought it for or with. I do have, oops, so that's the one that's just come out. I do have one that looks quite like it with a bit more beef on it. I'm going to need both hands, but effectively I'm going to try and do that and see how I get on. Alright, so we seem to be there. The liquid is all brake cleaner I used just to clean around the edges. I've just exposed those, cleaned them off a little bit more, just a little wire brush. I've got my little cheapo soldering kit. I'm just going to drizzle stuff on there. Some minor success, but I still found a bit of liquid gathering, and I wondered if it's coming from there or higher. And I've done some more digging, and holy shit, look at that. That is pretty damn rough. Don't want to make holes any bigger, but that's a through and through. I'm going to see what I can do about patching, and then look at ways of fixing. One thing I'm sure of is not welding, not with my abilities. When in doubt, JB it. So that's JB World. Just chucked on. I know it's a codge, it is a codge. It's only a temporary seal. I'll have to find a better way of doing it, or replace the tank, one or the other. But frankly, the tank is the least of my concerns, worries, etc, etc. I want to get this thing moving to see if it'll move. Right, let's leave that to set in the sun. Right, I've let it to set. I let it set in the sun, and then emptied out what was in there. It's pretty hideous. Then unfortunately left it the wrong way up, and it's just kind of melted through. On the tap, another hole. If you can, there we go. Chuck some JB in on a hope. I think the tank is pretty much screwed one way or another, but not an immediate. Well, it is an immediate because I'd like to see if it moves. 100% disclosure, I wasn't filming because I was trying to do other things at the same time. I did put a battery in. Wrong. I did try and adjust the clutch. See if I can get something out of it. That's about as far in as it will go, I think, and I'm still not getting anywhere. I put a battery in, thought, well, I'll give it a go. I couldn't get it to start. It would not start for love nor money. Nothing on the button at all. And it wasn't actually until I thought about it a bit more, I thought I've left it in gear. So I got it neutral. Straight in. That's after I took the battery out. I thought I'd nicked something down at the bottom there, because it's not the right battery, it's just a battery. So we're back and burning again, but what I can't do is get enough out of the clutch to actually drop. I don't like running a bike in gear on an axle stand. It is really not a clever thing to do, but I can't get enough bite to get it to bite, if you follow my drift. So now I think I'm trying to work out which way out that. So I am at the top end, pulling the clutch. So I think that is so I've let that out there because I've tried it both directions without much joy. This is going to be a struggle to do one-handed, but I'll give it a go. There you go, you fuckers. Right. I can't do this one-handed. Let me try that as far out as I can get it. Right, so as far out as I can get it. So theoretically then that is pulling it as much as it will pull. Right, let's give that a go. Right, all in all, a bit of a disaster. I stupidly put this the wrong way up, and what's left of the vinegar has seeped in. I don't know whether or not it seals at all. I had another look at the tap and found a hole at the base, so that's got some JB hardening in it. Whether or not that will cope on a test, I don't know. However, the thing that's really limiting me at the moment is the clutch. Well, two things limiting me. One is the clutch, the other one is dead battery. My boost box, I can't find the fucking charger for it for love nor money at the moment, and it's driving me more than a little bit bonkers. Yeah, so I've got no charge on that. I tried jumping it off an old battery. The battery worked for a couple of minutes, and most of my old batteries are junk anyway, so that's left me. What the issue that I was just trying to work through when it all died was the clutch. Now, I don't know if it's a knackered cable or what, but I've tried adjusting in and out, and I just can't give it enough. Either I haven't just been trying to do it by hand. I can't give it enough pull. To get it in. I've tried adjusting both in and out, and I can't quite get there. So I don't know if it's a clutch cable or something more sinister, but I can't get that back wheel to stop spinning and drop into a neutral. It'll drop into gear and it'll change gear, but with no clutch, which I don't really want to do because it's going to cause stress on the engine. But I don't know if it's new cable territory or whether or not it is something different. So, interested with your inputs. I think that tank is gashed. I could just continue struggling with it. I could just put my foot through it. But yeah, after all good intent and everything else yesterday, it's all gone a bit Pete Tong today, but them's the swings and roundabouts of fucking around with bikes. That'll do me for this one. Cheers all. And a not too rare from me supplemental. Couldn't find the charger cable, but the cable from my bloody my security lights fit. Bonus. The more I look at it, and the more I realise that that is doing what it needs to. I'm pretty sure it's my clutch plates. The guy did say that the clutch was he said the clutch was broken. I think it's the plates. I think that's going to be the next one. It won't be now. It's too late, and I've been out way too long. But it's going to be drop the oil, take the cover off, check out the plates. Cheers.